So for everyone who's joining us online tonight, if it's your first time, you're only new to the Pro Player Pathway, a big welcome to you for joining us. And you'll get a little bit of a feel on what these Pro Group Zoom meetings are about. We bring different specialised guests on every month in all different fields which evolve or help the development of football players. We're very, very lucky to have Chelsey join us tonight. And what we're going to do is we ask everyone to keep your microphones on mute, and just so we can talk to Chelsey, and we're going to drive out some good questions and some information. And then also, we didn't get any questions from anyone. Now, what we're going to give you guys an opportunity to do, if you've got any questions around Chelsey and what she does and her involvement with the Pro Player Pathway moving forward, feel free to drop those questions in the chat box for us, and we'll read them out and we'll answer them as best as we can. So I think we've got everyone online, and I'm just going to check. Chelsey, have we still got you there?
Yes, hello. Is that any better?
Yeah, we've got you now. That's good, Chelsey. Awesome. So, guys, we're going to get started. So I'll introduce you guys. This is Chelsey Jean. And Chelsey, I'll just get you to maybe 30 to 60 seconds. Just do a bit of an intro on what your job is, the business you run, and what you're involved in.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name's Chelsey Jean. I am a naturopath, a nutritionist, a mum to a 17-year-old superstar boy. So I know what it's like having a teenager as well. I have done lots of sports myself, hockey and softball, that type of thing. And what I do is help you identify what foods and what environment is the best thing for your body to move forward, because the last thing you want to do is be exercising, training, doing all of these things and not fueling your body the best that you can. So I've been a naturopath for the last, I've started when I was 19, this business, and I have seen thousands of clients and seen them improve. So not only working with people who are unwell, like really chronically unwell, but looking at working with sports people. So like Lisa Curry, she's a swimmer. I work with her and help her change her diet as well. And what I like doing is staying really aware with what's the latest things that we need to do. So I wanted to share some of those things with you tonight.
Thanks, Chelsey. That was an amazing intro. So for the mums and dads and the players online tonight, the reason why we got Chelsey involved in the program because of this amazing test that she's involved in. So by giving a hair sample, we can get your intolerances and foods and drinks checked, but also things like household goods. Now, the reason why this is really important for pro players, this was introduced at the high level back in the game in Europe, maybe 10, 12 years ago, but it was a very costly exercise at the time. It was in the region of like £5,000, I was told, to get done. Obviously, the cost of it have come down considerably now, which is great for us. So we've decided we want to implement it. And one of the research papers that we discovered was all around injuries, ACL injuries, and a lot of injuries that are actually linked originally to inflammation. And a lot of these injuries always get blamed on overtraining and get blamed on issues on the pitch and stuff that happens in the game. But when the clubs in Europe looked at the deeper level and actually looked at the fuel going into the car, so to speak, the food and the drink, that was actually the main contributing factor to inflammation. So what we're going to do is now we're just going to get Chelsey to talk a little bit about some of the different elements that you will get done on the test. So Chelsey, if you could just speak to them a little bit about the foods, the drinks, and also some of the household things, and also about that this can be used anywhere in the world as well.
Yep. Did you want me to make me a host and I can share your hair test results so we can go through them?
Do you really have to share my results to everyone? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's see if I can make you a host.
Okay.
All right.
So what we have found, we've done this test. We do over 500 of them a year. We've been doing them for a lot of years, and we've had elite sports people do this. And what they've come down to is they meal prep. And what it even came down to paprika that was causing the inflammation in their body, that they had to get rid of pepper and paprika. So the reason that we do this is you are what you eat. And what we find is we start out quite young. We've got this really good constitution, and we can be born. Children are now born with over 300 different heavy metals and toxins in their body, which is just crazy anyway. So we accumulate all of these toxic behaviors as we're going through life. And we normally get to being a teenager and we're still living off those good foods that we were fed when we were little by our parents, and we go along okay. And then we hit the teenage years, and that's when we start choosing foods for ourselves. And normally that's when a lot of fast food comes in. That's when these terrible energy drinks come in. You know what they are, the monsters, because they've got really cool writing on the bottle, and the V's and all of those things, Gatorades, and you think, oh, okay, so you start drinking those, and some protein powders and gainers that you have before gym, and all of these things have different chemicals in it that start adding up. Good health from when you were little through for a couple of years, but when you start hitting that higher, those 20s, the joys. Am I back again?
Hey, Chelsey, we lost you there for a second. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm back again. So what happens is you are going to be able to still live and still function. But if you're not feeding your body with the proper nutrition, your body will break down faster than what it should. We're seeing that 80-year-olds are now feeling like 100, and 50-year-olds are now feeling 70. We're not feeling as young as what we need to be. And that's what I want to change. I've changed that with my own diet. I've changed that with my son. And this is what we do with all of our clients, by helping you fuel your body with all of the things that's going to get the best results, and stop layering it with too many poisons. So think about the poisons that are sprayed on our crops before we even get our foods, and then in the shopping centers they're sprayed to be nice and plump, and they're sprayed for the vermin. All of these things are poison that's going onto our food. And you can talk about processed foods, you can talk about sugars, and hopefully that you guys know enough that good food is what you have to do to fuel your body moving forward, but we don't even know really what that is. So as a naturopath and as a nutritionist, if you come to see me, I'm not even going to tell you, oh, go and have broccoli, chicken, and some rice, because you might be intolerant to those things, and I'm only guessing. We won't do that anymore. All of our food and nutrition appointments is all very individually based. We are going to do your hair test. We're going to find out what causes inflammation for you as an individual. We're going to remove those things out of your diet, and the improvements that we see are a lot better recovery, skin issues as well. So any like pimples, psoriasis, itchy skin, allergy responses, those types of things. We see that bloated tummies, constipation, diarrhea. Now, diarrhea can be a stress thing as well. So if we're helping the body, if we're removing the stress from the digestive system, we're helping the brain work. So it's really important that we look at food, and this test is really simple to follow, and we get great results with kids because they look at it and they go, yes, I can do this, because there's lots of yeses in that list as well. So if I can, no, I still can't share, Ray.
I'll try and give you the host again. If not, I'll share it through my screen. I've got it on here for you. Let me see. All right, I've made you a host again. Do you want to try it now?
Okay, share. Yes, I've got it here.
Brilliant.
All right. So here it is. Here. I'll just get some of this out of the way. All right. So, Ray, we did your hair test about a month or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. And
yeah, it was longer.
You were so excited.
Yes,
yeah, you were so excited. When you saw your results, you're like, wow, that really works for me. That I can see why those things have come up. And so many people will say, yes, I feel that when I eat that, I can get a little bit, my tummy can get upset or my lips can tingle. I know that I go to sleep. Those foods make me sleepy. So by cutting these foods out, we see a dramatic result, a better result in people's health overall. So thank God you can eat all of your green vegetables.
That was
that's a big
shock.
tick. Any food that comes up in it's so good. So any food that comes up in red means that you have to stop eating them for 6 months. These are the foods that are causing inflammation. So they're putting spikes around through your tummy, and they're causing inflammation. So all of these dairy foods that come up here, the good thing about it is that it gives you options. So if I said to half of the kids, if I said, stop drinking milk, because I want everyone needs to stay away from milk. This comes up on nearly like 85% of people need to stop drinking milk, because milk is pretty much just infected cow. Most of it's pus. Sorry, I just had to say it. Most milk is just pus now, because the cows are given so much drugs to, their teats, everything is all inflamed. There's blood, there's everything. It's not good to drink. So we like to take everybody off milk. And you might say, oh, how am I going to get my calcium? But you're going to get your calcium from a lot of greens. Milk is actually acidic. Milk causes your body to leach calcium from your bones. So don't believe everything that you hear in the advertising world when it comes to milk. Other things here is have a look at these oils and fats. So you would have thought that, oh, I'm going to have avocado oil. That's healthy. It doesn't work for Ray. All of these things here are going to cause inflammation in his body. So when there's inflammation, it means that all of the energy is going to go to your gut and try to fix the problem. When you are working with foods that are fueling your body, it means that more energy can go to your brain and more energy can go to your arms and legs to keep you active and keep you repairing, as well as being able to use that sympathetic nervous system and explode on the field when you need to, not be in your belly trying to digest the foods that are stuck there. Does that make sense, everybody? So,
yes, for
example,
Chelsey.
here, look at these eggs. So duck eggs, you can try to find some duck eggs, or we just got to go without eggs and for 6 months. And for eggs and organic eggs to come up, it's quite severe, your intolerance to eggs, Ray. So you might need to stay away from them for 12 months. We'll wait and see how you go after 6 months. This meats, so no bacon, no duck. Stop eating emu, okay? I see you chasing those emus around the paddock. Stop eating emu. No ham, no pork when it comes to meats. But there's still quite a lot of things. Then you can get your proteins from your nuts as well. soft drinks, sugars, rice, you're good with rices, sauces. So you can see there it's very, very detailed on what is working and not working for you. So then we go down to the products that you would think are, oh, it's safe, it's gluten-free. No, there is still quite a few gluten-free foods. And look at the breads, you know, and this comes up on everybody's hair test. Breads are full of chemicals. Spray coolant that you put into your car is also in bread. It has a lot of chemicals in there that will cause bloating and cause your liver to have to work a lot harder to break down, and your gut to break down these foods. You wouldn't be a chocoholic by chance, would you, Ray?
I was a big chocoholic, the worst sweet tooth ever. I'm so upset I can't eat Cadbury's no more.
No. And how are you feeling after following this?
One of the interesting things I wanted to share with the families, and it was an interesting one for me, was when I couldn't understand why I could eat Lindt chocolate, but I can't eat Cadbury's. And I literally discovered in Lindt chocolate, there's like 3 ingredients. With Cadbury's, there's like 11 ingredients, and everything's got a letter or a number after it in brackets, which means chemicals and all sorts of stuff that they're putting into it. But going back to your main question, I've been doing it for 5 or 6 weeks, and I used to get really, really bad dry skin on my elbows, really bad dry skin on my nose, and I used to have a lot of problems with like bloating and fleeing, like inflammation. And I haven't drunk alcohol for a couple of years now. I've always relatively thought I had a healthy diet. I used to always eat a lot of Thai meals, veggies and meat, thinking it was good. But then I discovered I can't have fish sauce anymore, which is in every Thai meal going around. But since I've stopped, and I didn't do this for the weight loss, but since I have stopped it, I've dropped nearly 10 kilos in weight. So I feel like on top of the world at the moment. Like,
how cool is that?
Yeah, in 5 weeks. And I think I should be on the Pro Player Pathway program. I think I might be pulling the boots out and going to try out for Liverpool.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well done, because you've got rid of the inflammation, and now the energy in your body can go to your liver and go to digestion better, and, you know, and arms and legs. And that is so good. So you've stopped putting the holes, stop putting all these spikes through your body, and your skin is an indication of what's going on in your gut. So that dryness on your nose and the dryness on your elbows shows us that now you've got better absorption happening in your gut for the proper food. So, you know, it's a game changer, definitely a game changer. And the thing is with this as well is it will keep you honest. If you eat, just so you can't have eggs, and so now if you went and ate some eggs, you would be on the toilet, you would have diarrhea, your body would say, Ray, we're not doing this, remember, we are eliminating all the foods that don't work for us, because we need to make sure that then the lining of our gut, once we remove the food that's putting all the spikes in it, that we repair that lining of the gut. And that's where our proper nutrition comes in. And zinc is super important. If you're teenage boys, zinc and the immune system will also keep that lining thicker. So stop those autoimmune diseases from occurring and happening in the body. So also it's telling us at home what other products. So mixed feathers, a lot of people are using feathered pillows that they don't change over every 3 months. You will sleep so much better without a feather pillow if it comes up on your hair test. Even with toothpastes, everything on here that you would normally have is going to, and protein powders as well. People think, oh yeah, I'm just going to grab a protein powder. And, you know, which one to choose? Luckily, you can have all of the protein powders because it is important to get the protein in. And we can talk about different fat, proteins, and carbohydrates, what to eat. But this is your basis. This becomes your eating plan. This is your secret weapon on how to keep your body moving at its best and lightest. It doesn't need to hold on to that extra weight now. So you will be able to increase your your sprint times, your response times, because your body is now fueled with the proper foods that's going to not slow you down. So I'm so excited for your team on here, Ray. Like, my son is 17 and he follows his hair test. He knows when he doesn't follow his hair test, his skin, he gets pimples, his acne comes back again. He's, he can tell by his stools, his poo, if he's not eating, following his hair test as well. He can tell by his energy. He can tell by his lifting. He goes to gym every day, whether he makes good gains. It all depends on if he's taking his supplements and if he's following these hair test results.
Thank you, Chelsey. That's amazing. Now, we've got a couple of questions on our chat box and chat room. Can I read them out to you and can you answer them for us?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Now, first question we got: what are the fueling foods should I eat on the morning of a match day or a game day? So that one was from Charlotte Ainsworth.
From Charlotte, yeah. So Charlotte, it can depend, because if you get anxious before a game, you don't want to eat too much. You don't want to put too much food in your belly, because those the bees in your belly, you can feel a little bit sick beforehand. But if you're okay to eat before a game, and depending on what time you play, you are going to choose some really good carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are going to be your fuel for that game. So fuel from carbohydrates is that quick burn. Fuel from fat is a slow burn. It gives you your energy over a couple of hours. So carbohydrates is where mainly you guys are going to get your fuel from. Choose the ones that are going to be a little bit longer giving and breaking down. So I would stay away from cereals. I'm not into cereals. So it would be good to have a fruit. So you would choose off your hair test. So I would say like a chia pudding and some yogurt that had some banana and some berries in it, something like that.
Brilliant. All right.
Sorry, Ray, I can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
The next one is,
okay. What food is best to break down in your body? Mm-hmm.
What are the 3 key takeaways that I can do to focus on my nutrition for a healthy mind and body? And that's from Ty.
Okay, Ty. So the 3 things when it comes to nutrition: know what your macros are. You've got fat, you've got protein, and you've got carbohydrates. They're the 3 things that make up all of your food. What you're taught at school is the food pyramid, and breaks things down into 5 categories. It's got fruit and veggies, and it's got breads and pastas and cereals down the bottom. And those things are sugar. Those things are still carbohydrates. So what we need to do is you need to fuel your body with protein and with fats. Your brain is not going to work without fats. And then also with your carbohydrates. So choose the best meat, choose the best fats. So avocado is a really good fat. Cheese has got some good fat in it as well. Don't be scared to use butter, and stay away from your margarines. And then your carbohydrates, choose your fruit and your veggies, and then choose, some rice, but try to have the least processed foods as possible. So if you are, I would say 40% protein, and then around 30 to 40% carbohydrates, and then the 20% fats in your diet. Download MyFitnessPal. I would love you all to download the app MyFitnessPal, and then you can track what fats, proteins, and carbohydrates you actually are having. Because when you're guessing, it's not, you're better off to track them. Know the facts.
That's a great one. And I'll share that one very quickly with everyone. I actually use the MyFitnessPal, and hopefully everyone can see it. Maybe you can't see it on the screen, but yeah, it's really beneficial. It's something that we've looked to integrate into the program, but the free version is obviously great, but obviously the paid version is even better, but it's a very expensive app to get. But we are going to be sending out an email next week on the MyFitnessPal app for everyone to download the free version at least. And that's a good starting point to get to. The next question, Chelsey, that we've got, and I'm going to just answer one of the questions myself quickly. Some people have asked, when do we do our hair test and how do we do that? We'll send all that information to you next week, guys. Me and Archie and Ben will get it sent out from the office, and we'll explain how it works. Anyone who joined the program from the 1st of June onwards this year will receive the test completely free of charge. Anyone who joined before the 1st of June, because of the cost of the program and elements, we're going to also send you guys a special deal to join up and get this as well. So we'll send everything out to you. So guys, if you bear with us, hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, we'll get the information, and Chelsey and the team are waiting for you to send in your sign up, and then you'll get all the information on how you can do that. So the next question we got, which is a great one, in regards to strengthening ligaments and muscles, is there any type of food that you recommend that can help them get stronger or make them stronger?
Yeah, collagen, bone broths. I think having bone broths is one of the best foods that you can do. So lamb shanks, I just cooked lamb shanks today. I'll put them in our pressure cooker. And yeah, you can put in beef bones, chicken bones, all of those things to make a really hearty collagen fueled. You can get collagen as a supplement as well. And you can buy from the butcher, you can buy bone broth that you can put a scoop into some chicken stock as well. But definitely collagen is going to be the builder. So 50 years ago, you could eat a spinach and you would get 50 vitamins out of that spinach. Now you have to eat 50 spinaches to get that same amount of vitamins. I'm sorry, guys, but our farmers have not put any goodness back into our soils. Our produce is so sprayed, and there is not a lot of nutrients in our food anymore. You are going to have to supplement. You're going to have to supplement, because for your liver to work, for your ligaments to work, for your muscles to work properly, you are going to have to put extra supplements in and be really spot on when it comes to this, because every single muscle, needs a lot of nutrients to work, and you need to be able to repair. And I specialize in the lymphatic system, and it is a lymphatic system. Say if you hurt your elbow, you fall and you hurt your elbow. So it is the lymphatic system that has to come to that elbow and take away all of the bruising, all of the junk, everything that's torn. And the lymphatic system then has to bring the nutrients to that elbow that repairs and that fixes it. Let me tell you something. If you put ice on that elbow, isn't that going to slow down the process of healing? Yes. So ice went out 15 years ago, but unfortunately, a lot of our sideline managers still go, oh, let's get some ice. That will help if it's broken. If it's broken, it's going to help for pain. Please use ice if you are in pain, but don't use it if you twist your ankle a little bit or something, you come off the field. Please do not ice, because it is slowing down the lymphatic system. It's slowing down your rate of repair. What you're better to do is wrap it and elevate it when it comes to injuries. But we can talk about that another time. But yes, vitamin C, zinc, and collagen, really important when it comes to muscles and repair.
Great, thanks, Chelsey. Now, another one for you. This is one of my ones. In regards to farmers spraying all the stuff on foods and taking the quality out of foods, would you recommend organic and going to places like organic markets and things like that? Or is that a little bit of a myth? Because there's so much bad information online that organic's good, organic's not that good. What's your take on it?
Yeah. Organic is great. I love it, but it's expensive, and it can be, we're all so busy, and to be able to go to a different place and then get your organic food. When you go to Woolworths, you will see that organic food is covered in plastic, right? So that's done because when the doors close in at Woolies, they come in and they spray everything so it looks shiny. They then spray for vermin everywhere, and the organic food can't get those sprays on it. So that's why it all has to be covered in plastic. So a tip that I would love you to do is just get some apple cider vinegar. The organic Bragg's is fine, or just one of the organic apple cider vinegar. You use 1 cap in your sink. So get your fruit and veg in and put them into the sink. Get a cap full of apple cider vinegar, fill the rest with water, and let the fruit and veg soak there for 20 minutes or so, and then empty out the sink, and then give it a good clean off then with some fresh water. And even water. So water's got, arsenic in it, lead in it. The water, I won't drink tap water. That's another thing. I won't drink. I only use Zazen filtered water that has been remineralized. I don't even want to shower in normal water with all of the poisons, the fluoride and all of those things that are in our water. So organic, if you can. If you can't, wash your fruit and veg.
No, that's brilliant. It was really interesting that you touched on water, because one of the questions we've had as well was around hydration, and I've recently been really encouraged to buy reverse osmosis for the taps to clean the water up. Also, even down to there's new water bottles that you can get that adds hydrogen to the water. And yeah, I'm trying my best to stay away from tap water altogether. I'm the same. I don't even want to shower in it. When I discovered the stuff that's in tap water, just blew me away. In regards to hydration, Chelsey, what's your recommendation? Because there's so much facts and figures out there about how much water you should drink a day, and what's your take on it?
Yeah, so minimum at least 8 glasses of water a day. Kids are normally great with their water. Making sure that it's in a water bottle that is BPA free, so you don't get those hormone disruptors. Leaching into your water is also important. But just making sure, stay away from anything that is says that it's no sugar. All these zero sugary things are all just poison. They're all toxic. Water is the best thing for you to drink. But yeah, 8 to 10. If I'm sure that your kids will be drinking 2 liters of water. I know mine drinks over 2 liters of water in a game of basketball. So, but remember that drinking too much water is going to strip a lot of the salts out of your body. Everybody needs to replenish with salts. Please don't fall into the, salt causes heart disease story that we're being fed a lot by the government. But salts are so important. The sea minerals is what we use here, and it doesn't taste great, but it's going to remineralize your body with salts. Even just the Celtic salt, put a couple of drops after a game. Please put just a couple of, just a pinch, just a little pinch of salt, of Celtic salt, in some water after a game to replenish the salts that you lose in sweat, during a game. Salts, super important. Magnesium, calcium, all of those minerals is what's bone strength, but also that is what you're going to sweat out, those electrolytes. So please, we use a product called Basica, and that's a natural electrolytes and the sea minerals to replenish. So salts, super important, as well as your clean water.
That's brilliant, Chelsey. That was a great one you said about the salts, because I remember many years ago I was involved in a study visit at Liverpool Football Club, and they were going on tour, and their nutritionist at the time had stacks and stacks and stacks of bottles of the exact salts that you mentioned, and also hydrolyte tablets. And they provided all the squads with hydrolyte tablets and salts that they had to take during the flights, during the coaches. They were having to drink one of these hydrolyte tablets and the sea salts. They were having to drink them every 2 to 3 hours of flying to keep themselves above. And that was because X amount was lost during the flight. So that's really interesting you mentioned that, because they knew that 5-10 years ago in the Premier League, and it still goes on now.
Yes. Yeah. Salt's so important.
Now, I've got one more for you, and we'll probably finish off on this one, because I know it's late on a Friday night for everyone, but common injury that we get in football is Osgood slatters. Now, Osgood slatters for me is one of the biggest money pyramids in Australia, because every kid who gets Osgood slatters, they all run off to the physios, and the physios, in my eyes, sorry if you're a physio, if there's any physios on here, mums and dads, but we just seem like everyone runs off and spends thousands of dollars for the next 12 months with physios. In the UK, Osgood slatters was treated as what it was. It's basically you're growing and everything's growing out of proportion. And it was all about just aiding the pain around it, limiting the amount of load. Is there anything you recommend from a nutrition point of view? And I know what the answer is probably going to be. It's the intolerance test. But is there anything else you can recommend above and beyond the intolerance test to help and aid Osgood slatters?
Yeah, so reducing inflammation, stretching your body. So a lot of the times we do not do recovery as well as what we should. And that's where, we do the circulate compression and just making sure that immune system working through the lymphatic system is getting rid of the waste. So after you exercise, you are going to have a lot of lactic acid in your body. And we need to be able to remove that acid and replace it properly with healthy tissue and repairing. So definitely lymphatic work, stretching, doing my lymphatic sequence, using the gloves, that will definitely help post exercise. But I would use compression and I would stretch and move, and stop any toxins getting stuck in areas. And it's you're growing. Like my son's got stretch marks on his back from growing so fast, and he had this, and we would just stretch. We would. I'm a sports massage therapist as well. So, the poor kid always had to have his legs up the wall. He, before and after all of his basketball games, he didn't look cool, but he had to do all of the warm downs and the warm ups and all the things. And his body is great. But yeah, he'd have to have his legs up the wall after a game. He had to do his lymphatic drainage afterwards. He would use his compression. He could play up to 4 games in a day because he played men's and everything. Like at the age of 14, he would have the compression on his legs in the car between games. So doing all of those things is going to definitely help repair.
Now thanks, Chelsey. That was going to be the last question, but I've just seen one come in, and I want you to answer this one, because this is one that I've been struggling to find the answer. What's your opinion on cupping? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it useful? Is it a myth? What's your feel on
it? Yeah. So I don't like anything that's going to cause that much bruising in somebody's body. It can be a severe reaction with that bruising. I think there could be better ways to move that congestion out of an area. I would prefer acupuncture, but if you can find someone who could do the cupping that doesn't end up so severe with so much bruising, then that's okay. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan.
Yeah, a lot of the research that I'll tell everyone online, but put it this way, they don't do cupping at Premier League level. No player gets cupping at Premier League level. It's a worrying one for me when I go into the gym And I see these guys walking around the changing rooms, and it looks like they've had like 12 rocks thrown at the back. And I've always thought it can't be good having that amount of bruisage on your body. But there's a lot of people who obviously are pro it because they obviously earn a living from it. But the only thing I can tell you is whenever I've asked anyone at clublands in Europe and in the UK, none of the pro clubs recommend the players do it. So for me, it's a £1 billion industry, the Premier League. If they don't do it, normally tells you that it's no use to getting it done. Now, Chelsey, a big thank you for joining us. I know it's very late on a Saturday night.
I would use iodine.
Iodine? So a big thank you.
Yeah, I would use iodine to bring out any injuries. Thank you so much.
So thank you for your time,
everybody
guys.
Can contact me as well.
Yeah, please leave your
Thank
details.
You, Ray. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
We'll get everything back to you, Chelsey, and a big thank you to everyone who joined us. Thanks, Ben, as well, for being online. Hopefully everyone got some use from it. I know I did. And we'll be in touch next week with the information on how you can get your intolerance test done. So it's a good night for me and everyone at Euro Football Star, and we look forward to catching up with you all next week. A big thank you, Chelsey and Ben and all the players, for all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsey.
Thank you, everybody. Excited to talk to you when we go through your hair test results. Bye.
Great. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.